It's been a tough day, and I've actually thought about canceling today, but I decided to go ahead with it for a couple of reasons. We're making comfort food, and I need comfort food right now. I found out this morning that one of my dearest friends, and I'm probably going to tear up for this, one of my dearest friends in the world left the earth this weekend. And um, this one's going to be tough, guys. We've been friends for over 20 years. Our kids grew up together. We bonded as soccer moms back in the 90s. Our kids went to school together. They went to college together, hence the shirt that I'm wearing. She was an Ohio State mom. I'm an Ohio State mom. We bonded over college football after bonding over soccer. Both our kids played high school soccer together. Again, they both went to Ohio State together. We both wore these shirts together with our children. Um, Her son was at my son's wedding. And even though our kids are miles apart, we've remained friends. And we have a great little friend group. We get together and we share all about our kids. Um, so I decided to continue in honor and in memory of my friend, Mary. So I have stories about her, and I will share those with you as we go through the day. And one of the things I'm going to share, I'm going to grab a tissue here because I need one. Ooh, goodness. So, um, one of the things, ironically, and I had already planned this, one of the things that Mary and I shared was um, a love of peaches. And today happens to be National Peach Cobbler Day. So, in honor of that, I'm going to make two different kinds of peach cobbler that are gluten-free. And we're going to start with this one. Now, the thing is, you can make it hard or you can make it easy. We're going to go for one that's a little bit more difficult, or supposedly a little more difficult. We'll figure it out on the way. So I need 1/3 of a cup of almond flour for this. But the love of peaches that Mary and I both had, there's a service in the United States, and it is called the Peach Truck. And the Peach Truck, they own a peach farm, or orchard, I guess you would call it. And they when the harvest starts to come in, they go around the country, and you can order like a 25 or 50-pound box of peaches. So Mary and I would order the smallest one we can order, and then we would split that. We both would freeze it, and we would end up buying one like about every other year, which was awesome. So that was kind of our thing. That was sugar-free. Brown sugar, by the way. This one calls for maple sugar or coconut sugar. I don't have either of those. So, oh well. And, baking can be a very precise thing. Baking can be not so precise. Hey, Oliver. Welcome in. Just currently talking about the fact that one of my friends passed away over the weekend, and I'm cooking today in honor of her. So we were both lovers of peaches. So I'm making two different kinds of gluten-free peach cobbler. So currently putting that together. I need some baking powder, which is I set this up for like a one person thing. So it's all the measurements are kind of weird. So that you'll see me not using like the whole amount of certain things. A little bit of butter. Now this one was vegan and paleo and all that. So they used coconut sugar or coconut oil. I'm using butter just because I don't have coconut oil. As a matter of fact, coconut oil, I don't feel good when I eat it. So I really don't eat it much. Um, I need just a little bit of almond milk. This is unsweetened, but it is vanilla flavored. About that much. And a little bit of vanilla. So, Oliver, if you're still here, and Ivan and Sigma, I guess we'll call you. Welcome, and tell me where in the world you are, because today it just would do my heart good. I am a person, I would say, traveling's in my soul. I'm going to add just a little touch of nutmeg in there. Um, so, Asman. Okay, is that how you pronounce it? Asman? So I want to get it right if I can. So I know this is on a delay, so I apologize if I don't get to you right away. Honestly, just trying to get through the day right now. From Indonesia. That's so cool. I love talking to people from all over the world. I think it's the coolest thing ever that we can communicate from that far away from one another. I think that's just the most wonderful thing. So now, if I were to do this for my family, I would be doing this in like a 9x9. I'm just going to make individual ones because my family doesn't really love peach cobbler. I do. So I'll probably be the one eating this, although they may try it. They'll just try a bite. And my family doesn't have to be gluten-free. I do. So we eat gluten-free a lot, but we usually eat things that are naturally gluten-free if we can swing that. So we're going to make 2 little peach cobblers here. And pardon my barking dogs outside. You know what? This is what happens when you go live. Sometimes you have barking dogs in the background. So tell me, because I will let you know I'm ignorant about this. Do you eat a lot of peaches in Indonesia if you're still here, or wherever you're from in the world? Do you eat a lot of peaches? Peaches are something that come into, they're the most ripe, which I think it's funny that National Peach Cobbler Day is in April, because peaches don't really come into season until later. It's usually around June or July that they really start becoming extremely ripe. So that's when we end up usually getting our peaches. So this is all set up now. I'm going to use the spoon I just used because it's my house, so I can do what I want. So I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to spread that out. So there's our first one. Like I said, I'm doing kind of a riff on this one that I found. Looks pretty good, so we'll hope it turns out that way. So there's that one. Easy enough. So there's number 1. So this is comfort food to me. Peach cobbler, it doesn't get more comfort food-ish than that to me. So there's our first one. And then, see, this has to go, let's see how long this has to cook. Will not probably have to cook as long as they say, but all right. Okay, so here's the thing. I have 2 ways of doing this. This is the way where you mix your own. And this is the way with using pre-made puff pastry that happens to be gluten-free. Because making your own puff pastry is hard enough. Making it gluten-free is even harder. So we're not going to do that today. I need the easy button today. So that's what we're going to do. So there are several ways to make that easy. This is one of them. And we are going to, we're not even going to use the whole thing, to be honest. We're just going to, and that was something I didn't do, was, so I'm going to call my IT guy, which happens to be my son. You've never tried a peach before. Okay, let me try to explain. Peaches are stone fruit. If you've had plums or apricots, either one of those, it has a similar texture to an apricot. It's a little bigger, it's a little juicier. See, I think those are really cool things to learn about people that if you've never had a peach before. Mr. IT man, are you available? I need a biscuit cutter about that big. So my largest biscuit cutter, please. So my IT guy happens to also be my son. So he's really good at helping me with things like that. In the basket. Down further. So I believe they're in the basket there. You can just hand me the whole pack if you want. Oh dear, sorry, things are stacked. So I'm sorry, we're running a little slow. But anyway, so that's peaches are and they should be sweet. If they're not sweet, that's because they're not ripe. So that'll be perfect. So we're going to make that nice and easy. We're just going to make that little cut. I love it when it works out. Look at that. Just right there on top. And let's see. One for that. I got two for that. I think I can. Hi, Carlos. And who else have we got here? Okay. I'm guessing your name is not Slavka Bakalova. Or am I right? Am I wrong? Tell me what your name is, please. I would love to know. All right. Ooh, I'm going to put a little egg wash on this one so it looks pretty when we're done. And then we're going to pop it in here. And yes, it's kind of a mess because we use it all the time. So get myself a little egg wash here. I usually move my garbage, so my apologies. I usually have my garbage right there. So anyway, I need my pastry brush. This is why I like cooking in this corner. All of my stuff is like right here because I have a rather small kitchen. So I can get most of what I want, and what I can't get, I usually can call for my, like I said, he's my IT guy. He keeps an eye on things that are going on. From Portugal. My son was just there. One of my sons, not the one that's here, but one of my sons was just there this past summer. They fell in love with your country, and they also fell in love with your wine. They were very sad to find out that the wines they loved the most, they cannot bring out of they don't send out of the country. But they found some pretty good ones that are close. So they are now fans of Portuguese wine. Okay, I am going to pop these guys in the oven. And they're going to go for about 30 minutes. And we'll check them after 30 minutes. So, all right, we're going to bake at 375 for much longer. It's going to be 30. All right, so our desserts are in. That's awesome. All right. Okay. So this gets rolled up. I'll make this for something wonderful later. We'll figure something out for those. something delish. We'll set those back in. I'll have my IT guy put those back in the refrigerator so they don't go bad. Yes, he was. My son and his wife were just stunned by how beautiful the country of Portugal is. It was. It just they raved about it. To be honest, they just raved and raved about it. How beautiful it is there. And then my daughter-in-law, she had won a contest when they were in college, an architecture contest, and she got to travel around Portugal and Spain and take in the architecture. And it was just such a wonderful trip, and they had such a wonderful time. So the thing is, neither one of them speak Portuguese. My son does speak some Spanish, so they were able to navigate. My son's in his late 20s, so this was kind of perfect for them. It was they did not get an actual honeymoon right away, and since then they've taken a trip to Hawaii and a trip to Portugal, and I'm like, y'all are pretty lucky that you get to do that. So anyway, that's kind of something I always say they kind of inherited their travel gene from me. I love to travel. I have never been to Portugal. It's a place I would really love to go. I've only been to Europe once. And if you're familiar with the United States and you know how big we actually are, I have been to 48 of the continental United States, which are all 48 of the continental United States, I guess I should say. So that's a lot of travel. It's about 3,000 miles from here to my son's house. He lives in San Francisco. So and I don't even live on the coast, the other coast. I live about 1,000 miles from the other coast. So it's about 4,000 miles. And it's 1.61 miles per kilometer. So there you go. Or kilometers per mile. I can't remember. I wish we had the metric system, but we don't. So anyway, next we're going to make some good old-fashioned tomato soup. And that starts with a little bit of butter. You could use olive oil if you prefer. Just the recipe I was basing this off of called for some butter. So we're going to put some butter in there. I don't want to scrape that because it's a nonstick. So there's that. Grab that. Okay. And what part of Portugal? I know they went to Porto. I was afraid you were going to ask me that. I know they went to Porto. There was a place that started with an L too. Was it? Okay, I wish I knew my Portuguese geography better, but I want to say it was like Lago or Lagos, something like that. Okay. Oh, okay. He's just north of Los Angeles, so in San Francisco. So so they love the coast, they love the ocean, they love all of that stuff. And one of the things they also said they loved about being in Portugal was all of the seafood. So between the wine and the seafood, they were quite happy, to be honest. I'll turn this on real quick. I don't want high. Oh, okay. Sorry. I don't want it on slow cook either. Saute, that's what I want. And then I want the temperature. I haven't been doing this very long. Okay. Start. And then I can lower the temp. So, okay. All right. Sorry about that. I don't remember. I think they were in Lisbon, but there was somewhere else. I know Lisbon's your capital. So I'm American. I'm not that American. Okay. I do know my capitals. Oh, And I know where you're located. I know that you're all on the coast. And like I said, everything I've heard about Portugal is that it's just beautiful. So, um, is it Alentejo? Is that how you pronounce that? We have, I am from what is called the Midwest, and we are not known for being beautiful. We are very much of the state that I live in is farm country, and there are a lot of corn. We're corn farmers in this part of the country. So I have a son who lives about 2 hours away, and probably half of our drive we go through areas of cornfields. So we help feed a nation, though. Now I live in a city, and it is a little different here. So I need to grab a spoon to stir. So what we are known for, where I live, some of people my age would know a baseball player named Pete Rose. And then there are also people who, if you are into animals, we have a hippo named Fiona, and she is known because she is the smallest hippo. She was a preemie. She's the smallest hippo born in captivity to survive. She's adorable, and she's sassy as all get out, and people come from around the world to see her. From Belgium. Cool. I love that. Like I said, I love it when people come from all over and I get to talk to people from there. And today, to explain my shirt for those of you who are not from the United States, there is a university called Ohio State University. And I have a friend who, our sons both went there. We both like American football. And my friend passed this weekend. We've been friends for over 20 years. And this is a day I'm honoring my friend. So I appreciate you all living here. Oh, great. What do you grow on your farm? I would love to know. I garden. I don't have a farm, but I garden. Oh, cool. Somebody from Canada. Neighbors to the north. Welcome. What part of Canada are you from? Because you're as wide as we are, so you could be hours and hours away from me. A forever Buckeye. Woohoo! I love you. I did not go to Ohio State, but my son did. I went to a small school outside of Columbus, which is the city that Ohio State is in. And I fell in love with their football team when I was in college. And we're not going to talk about how long ago that was. We're just not. No, I've earned every one of my years. Actually, my birthday is this week. So my birthday is on Saturday, and I will be 63 years old. So I am probably old enough to be some of your grandma. Some of you, I'm old enough to be your grandmother. But, and I have grandchildren. I love being a nana. So I'm a nana, not a grandma. There are several different monikers for that. I love the Spanish term for grandma. I love abuela. I think I love it because so many people I know that have abuelas call them abuelita, and I just think that's so sweet. And we're a very German town where I live. Many of our descendants, myself included, have a lot of German heritage. And, Oma and Opa, I like that one too. Animals, vegetables, gardens, and fruit. Oh, that's so cool. That is so awesome. Oh, goodness. The only animals I have are dogs, and we are not allowed to have livestock where I live. So I know a lot of people wish we could, and we could have chickens, but we can't. So, the small city that I live in, that's an ordinance that we're not allowed to do that. So, and I understand we have a lot of business in our area, um, so they really don't want that, and I understand that. So, so I just chopped up half of a very large onion. I didn't need the whole thing, and I'm chopping up a couple of cloves of garlic. We're gonna pop that in there. So, in South Africa, you lived in Plano, Texas? Really? My husband worked in Plano, Texas for a little while. Um, Worked in Frisco, which is close to Plano, and I think he actually stayed in Plano, I believe. But that's funny. It's not funny how you can be like worlds away, and yet you've been in some of the similar places. So I ate an In-N-Out burger. If you're familiar with that, for the first time when I was down there, that was the first time I ever had that. Um, so right now we're making comfort food, and we're making comfort food because a dear friend of mine passed away, and I had already planned to make comfort food, so I decided not to cancel this, and I decided to do this in her honor, so, and in her memory, because we used to, um, every week we would talk about the games when they were on, and um, it was fun. It was just a lot of fun, and she was a lot of fun, and she brought a lot of joy into my life. Um, and that was kind of the theme of her life was joy. And I love that about her. So, okay. Now, if you're, I'm sure being from Portugal, you know, Carlos, that you know about San Marzano tomatoes. Um, a lot of people in America don't, but they are fantastic tomatoes. Um, and that's what we're going to use in our soup. And also, I will apologize to the European contingent. I'm using dried basil instead of fresh. I bought some fresh and I repotted it, and you know how it just kind of flops over? Yeah, it did that. So my fresh basil is not looking so good because it hasn't been transplanted long enough. So we're going to use a little bit of dried basil in there for flavor. I wish I had fresh. It's too early in the season. It's starting to poke its little nose out of the ground. And I'm not really good with indoor gardening. I don't know why. It just never really seems to go real well for me. So, oh, wonderful. So Johannesburg. Oh man, that's another place. That's a bucket list place for me is South Africa. I've just heard so many things about how beautiful it is over there. So I would love to know, where'd you go in Ohio when you were here that you had a holiday here? Were you at in Cincinnati and you went to somewhere like Kings Island? Were you upstate? Were you near the lake? Could be any number of things, but I think if we were talking about my state like we talk about European places, I think you would call my city um, not quite quaint, but it is a smaller city. Um, Now, I say that our metro area, the what we call the greater Cincinnati area, which is where I'm from, um, there's about a million. There's a little over a million people. So we're not teeny tiny, but we're also not huge either. Um, Cleveland, which is also in Ohio, um, they are one of the top 10 for size. They're one of the top 10 cities in the country. Um, and by the way, touching raw food is not my favorite thing. So I don't mind it, but especially with something acidic like tomatoes, I tend to wear a glove. And these are biodegradable, so I like that about them. So anyway. So Carlos, if you're still with me, what kind of vegetables do you grow? I just planted for the first time artichokes. I'm going to try to grow some artichokes. I've got the standards in right now. I've got tomatoes, which we grow a lot of around here. We have really good tomatoes for sandwiches. And then And then I've got some green beans that are popping their noses up. And what else is coming up? Oh, I planted bok choy for the first time, so I'm excited to see how that goes. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I did it last year, and the cabbage moths destroyed my bok choy, along with my kale and everything else. So it was a bummer. But who else have I got here? Hello, hello to everybody who came in. Joanne, hello. And I'm sorry I don't read Greek. I think that's Greek. If you can tell me what your name is in any other language, I might be able to decipher it. But that I don't read Greek very well. I have friends who do. I have friends who are Greek, but but anyway, so cool. Santee, California. Okay, where is Santee in California? What part of California are you from? Is that north? Is that south? Is that central? Where are you? So I kind of know my way around that state. Um, like I said, I have relatives. My son lives in San Francisco. I have relatives in Los Angeles, and I have a bucket list to go to San Diego. As a matter of fact, I haven't even told my husband this yet, so don't tell anybody. Uh, One of the things my friend that passed this weekend that we had talked about doing, she was supposed to retire on her birthday in October. And she had said she always wanted to take a road trip. She'd never been to the southwest part of the country. And she's like, but I don't know if I'd want to go by myself. And I said, oh, I'll go with you. And she's like, would you really go with me? And I said, absolutely. I said, let's do it. So we had talked about doing a road trip over the fall. And I may do that in her honor. So we'll see. But it has reminded me today, friends, and this is why I'm here too, that this is something that I do to, oh, Southern, okay, near the border. I have actually, that's where I went over the border. I've been to Mexico and we went over the border in Southern California. So, um, anyway, part of what I want to do is to remind myself to do the things that are in your heart. And one of the things that's in my heart is just to talk, to meet people, to talk to people, because I live in this really interesting little place, this interesting little city, that there are a lot of people from all over the place. And it's one of the things I love the most about living here. Um, Hello, is it Ruzan and HC Patel? Hello, welcome. Um, I love meeting people who come here. I love meeting people who, because I live in this like little, it's not a well-known place. We're not New York. We're not Chicago. We're not LA or anything. I'm always interested in how people made their way here. Um, so I I love asking that question. And you know, if you're not from here originally, how did you get here? And hey, Johan. So it's always fun. Now we have, if you're familiar with Procter and Gamble, they're here. We also have a very well-known. We have one of the top three. It bounces between two or three different ones, but we have one of the top three children's hospitals in the country. Our Ronald McDonald House. The last time I was down there, they had people from 27 different countries there. It is quite the place. I always say it's the greatest place you never want to have to visit, but they do really, really, really good work. So it is really gratifying to know that you live in a city that has that. So a lot of people come through here for medical school. Our teaching university, our teaching hospital, the university is like right across the street too. So it's very easy when you're here to do that. I have a son with a medical condition, and it's kind of funny because some of the people who, um, one of his friends, their mom ended up being his doctor for a little while. So, well, hello from South Carolina. One of my favorite places to visit. It is so beautiful there. Um, let's see. Let's see if I can turn this down a little bit. There we go. All right. I don't need this to bubble away on me, so I can always add a little extra if I want. But what part of South Carolina? I love that state. It's so beautiful. Charleston is one of my favorites. If you've ever been to Charleston, South Carolina, it is one of the most beautiful cities you'll ever see. It's just gorgeous. All right, and now we're going to move on to what is probably the most quintessential comfort food in the States, anyway, and that is grilled cheese. And when you can't eat a grilled cheese with any uh, bread, that makes grilled cheese a really difficult thing to do. So I'm going to try a couple of things that I've tried. Now, Ontario, you're just a little bit north of me because we're right across. We're in Ohio, which is right across Lake Erie. So you're not too far. If you're, so that's cool. Easily South Carolina. I feel like I've been past that because we've been all over the state. But I don't remember being in there, so I don't know. But so we've got our tomato soup going, and it's just San Marzano tomatoes, some onions, some garlic, some pepper, some basil, a little bit of sugar, easy peasy, right? So we're going to let that go, and I'm going to try something, and I forgot my mold, so I'm going to have my IT guy come in here. I think one of the large ramekins will work. One of the large ones. So keep my... You know what? That was one of the greatest hacks I ever learned. If you've got these kind where they've got the holes in them, this kind of measuring spoon, we hang them here. We've got what size they are, and then we put a little piece of felt so they don't make a lot of noise when they hit. I forget where I learned that, but I thought it was brilliant. So I've seen this recipe lately. It's called keto bread. It's 90 seconds in the microwave. This is one of those things, and I do this almost every week. I do one thing live that I've never cooked before. And it's like, we're going to give this a try and see if it actually works. And I have had some pretty spectacular failures. I tried a Eggs Benedict hack, and it did not work at all. Speaking of which, I am going to be doing a set of lives all week this week, for the next 2 weeks, actually. We're calling it snack lives. And so they'll be short. I'll be making one thing. I'll be making it quickly, and we'll see how it comes together. So that's exciting. Near. Oh, in the mountains near Lords. Okay, south. Okay. Oh, I have a friend from Nice, and yes, thank you. I don't know if I need to grease this or not. That's a good question, isn't it? Well, we're gonna find out. Let's see. I need a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. This is a half. We're gonna use half of that. So, I have heard that everybody goes to Paris, but I've heard a lot of people say, get out of Paris and you will see the most beautiful countryside in France. And you just have a whole different experience of France when you're outside of Paris. So I wonder if is that true? So hi Sheila. Hi Juanita. Thanks for coming in. Currently we are making comfort food. We're making it gluten-free. Grabbing an egg here. Uh, oh, okay. All right. So I don't know where everything is, to be honest, in Europe. I used to know a lot better. I still know some of it. Um, Geography was something my father in particular, thought was rather important to learn and to know where you were going and how to navigate. And so when I was a kid, we learned how to do that. Um, and I got to reach over here. Ooh, something popped up. I can't see the conversation anymore. Oh dear, I'm so sorry about this. There, that's not what I want to see. All right, my IT guy, there we go. I just have to, there we go. Okay, now you guys are back. Ontario, population 300. So what's it like to live in a town that small? Do you love it? Do you love that everybody knows everybody? Or is it one of those things where you're like, everybody knows my business? I've wondered. I really have wondered about things like that. Um, okay. I do need a tablespoon of butter. So put that in there. You know what? It's bread. It's savory. I can do that. All right, get in there. Being persnickety. There we go. Need to grab a fork. I'll just use a fork. All right. Close that so I don't whack myself in the head because, these things can happen. So, both things are true. I believe that. Wendy, I believe that. Oh, I went to a college that there were 2,000 students total. And I just remember thinking by my senior year, because that means there were 500 kids essentially in my class. And I just remember thinking by my senior year, everybody either knows my business or thinks they know my business, which was always kind of a weird thing. So, okay. All right. So this is our first experiment that we're going to do, and we're going to see if this works. So if you're not gluten-free, here's something to know. In general, unless you find somebody who has really worked on a recipe for a long time, gluten-free bread generally is not good. So this is supposed to be like the bomb. So we're going to try this. Hey, Mr. IT man, come back. Poor guy. I call him back 100 times. You would think we would have this down by now, but we don't. Okay, that one goes in the microwave for 90 seconds, please. Okay, so hello, sweet girl. Another one of my friends who we were very, very close with, Mary. She just came in. And so today is dedicated to our friend Mary, Kim. And hello, Amy. And so I'm making comfort food because why not, right? And I'm wearing this shirt in honor of my friend Mary. For those of you who are not from the States, Ohio State is a university in the state of Ohio. Obviously, sorry, I'm a little off today, but we both had sons there at the same time, and we bonded over having sons there, over having a love of American football, both at this level, which is the collegiate level, and also professional. And Kimberly is very much a professional football fan as well. So we are all Cincinnati Bengals fans, if you have any idea of what that is. Football season will not be the same this year. It will be an adjustment to not have our friend there. So while that is still cooking in there, I'm also going to set up for, all right, this one's a little different. And I'm going to tell you that up front. Those over there. And it's going to require gloves. And so I will do that. And a little bit of parchment paper, which they suggest. So I'm gonna do that. And glove. So you're right, it won't. But I think our first football game that we have together, we should probably go somewhere and again raise a toast to our friend. So I'm sure she would love that. So if we all got together for football in her honor. So there it is. All right, you want to set that down? Go ahead and set it down. I'll grab the other glove. All right, so 90 seconds in. Let's see if it comes out. It did not come out. All right, there it did. Woohoo! All right. There it is. That's the keto bread right there. And we are going to toast that up, which is what they suggest you do. We're going to let it cool for a minute. Give me a plate. And we'll put that on there. It smells very eggy, if that makes sense. Good afternoon. Is it Anisha? Is that how I say that? Oh, goodness, that's hot. Hey, Rosa. So, hello, welcome. We are making comfort food today, and we're going to see if this one came out the way it was supposed to. Where's the other? Okay. I'm thinking that one looks about done. That one needs some more time. We'll need that, please. All right. So we started off with peach cobbler because today is National Peach Cobbler Day. This is one of the toppings that we made. So that one looks like it's pretty well done. I'm going to set this over to the side here to cool. And this one I'm going to put back in. Looks like it needs about another maybe 10 minutes, but it also needs to go at a higher temp. So we're going to turn that up. It's supposed to be cooked at 425 anyway. And we're going to do that for about, I'm going to check it in 8 minutes. So I love that little thing. Hi, Amelia. Oh, thank you for the flowers. I love flowers. You know what? I've heard that. I haven't tried the lentils. If you're looking at the chat, she said one of her son has. In the United States, we call it celiac. Other places, they call it celiacs. So you'll hear me use them interchangeably, and that's why. Oh, sorry if I hit my microphone. But yes, I've heard of people making pureed lentils and then into a wrap. And we're going to do something similar, but we are going to use ground chicken. So, we're going to use ground chicken. We're going to use some seasoning. We're going to use an egg. Oh, I know we're not using all of this. But this one was on sale, and this girl loves a bargain. So I will use it in other recipes in the next day or so. So, and honestly, for years I never bought ground chicken or ground turkey for much of anything. But we have discovered it recently, is the best way I would put that we've discovered a better way. So I am going to kind of eyeball this because the recipes are all very, very different. So we are going to make a wrap out of it. I don't think I need that much. I think this is going to be enough because I am cooking just for one person. So now if it's really good, I'll make it for my family for later this evening. I'll make more of them. Set this to the side for a second. And then, like I said, we'll season it up. So what would you season it up with if you were seasoning it? I'm going to do this really simple for the first time and use just garlic and onion powder. So you've had the lentils. That's cool. I love hearing that. So I imagine this is going to be eggy too, because that's not a lot of meat. But okay. All right. Wash my hands. Just dry them on here. All right. And then I'm going to mix that up with a fork. Actually, I'm going to mix that up with my hands. I like that idea better. So the other thing is grilled cheese, or however you make a grilled type sandwich. IT guy, look at the chat, please. True, not so much fat. I got a weird comment there. You might want to moderate for me if you would. So that's something I'm kind of new to. The other thing about when you're gluten-free, you can use gluten-free breadcrumbs. I'm not a huge fan of those. So, and I'm going to tell you I won't be able to see the chat for a minute because my IT guy is moderating. This is really kind of soupy. I don't know if you can see that or not. So I am going to add a little Parmesan cheese into it, give it a little more structure. And I might actually add a little more meat and just make 2 of them. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that too. So I'm going to pull this off. Hopefully I can get that back on so I don't have to get another glove. But we'll see. Okay, so that is bacon. Let's not drip on the floor, right? That would not be good. All right, I can make 2 out of that probably. All right. So, glove back on. So, yeah, my IT guy. I love that kid. So, he also happens to be my kid. So, there you go. Not a kid. Tomorrow's his birthday. So, if you want to wish the IT guy happy birthday, his birthday is tomorrow. And mine is on Saturday. So, we will be celebrating our birthdays this week. All right. Again, that's a little dry. That's going to be a little dry. This is going to be a little mushy. So we're going to have to see how that goes. Add a little more of the cheese to it, and then we're just going to let it be what it is. And we'll cook it up, and we'll see what we get. So, all right. And it says to get it into your pan that you want to, you can do it 2 ways. You can either mash it here, or you can mash it in the pan. I think we're going to try to mash it in the pan. So just one less step. I'm all for one less step. How about you guys? And this is an apparatus we have not tried before. So this is new for all of us. I got this little beauty recently. So we'll be trying it. And I'm not used to infrared cooking, but it's all good. It's all new, and we're going to figure it out together. So I did learn something. You're not supposed to use copper bottoms on these things, so we won't be. It's on. We're going to turn it on. Not sure how to. Oh, got a timer. I don't need a timer. Ah, I see. Ah, okay. All right. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab this guy. My IT guy is my son, actually. What is baking? Today is National Peach Cobbler Day. So again, I said this before. I don't really understand why it's Peach Cobbler Day, because peaches aren't ripe until June in the United States. So I'm going to keep talking because this girl forgot her flipper. So I'm getting a flipper. This is a nonstick pan, but I'm thinking I don't have any oil handy. I wish I did, and I don't want to run across the kitchen to get it. So I'm going to use a little bit of butter. Get in there. I don't need all of that, but pop it in there. Yes, I like butter. So hopefully that's done. And I'm just making comfort food today because I've had a rough morning. I had a dear friend call me this morning to tell me another dear friend was no longer with us. And that was hard. And I appreciate my friend so much for taking care of me like that. And we will take care of each other in this near future as we navigate the world without our friend. She's been my friend for over 20 years. And those kind of friendships, if you've been around long enough, you know those are rare. And we love people. But sometimes that just doesn't translate to being a lifelong thing. So to have a friend for 20 years is a wonderful thing. Oh, now I know why they told you to put it between the parchment. Should have listened. So forgive me, people. It's not going to be as pretty as it could be. I get why they did that. So anyway, so we're going to spread this out as thin as we can. And then we are going to add some cheese because this is going to be our version of grilled cheese. And if you're not from the US, hide your eyes because I'm going to put up some American cheese in here, which I know you guys say is not real cheese. If my friend from France is still here, I apologize for the American cheese. Thank you so much. Our friends were very near and dear. So thank you, Wendy. I appreciate that. I would love to have you back. So I'm going to do a little bit of American cheese, and then I've got a pizzeria style blend, and I'm going to put some of that in there. So you know, butter's so good, isn't it? Butter's just yummy. And for those of us who have to watch for health conditions, it can be kind of a pain that we can't have it as much as we would like. So I am going to pop that beautiful cheese in there. I bought this just because it was on sale. I think I will be buying it again because it's so good. And then you are supposed to take your flipper, and we'll see if this works, and you flip it over. Oh, yeah. The cheese is kind of, like I said, it was kind of melty, whatever. So we're going to leave that sit for a while because we're going to need that chicken to cook. Now we're going to check on that. Looking pretty good. Let's see if the edges are done. So this is the peach cobbler. This is the one with the pre-made puff pastry. So that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Should have probably put it over the edge. So that's my fault. But I'm going to set that to cool. Hopefully it's cooked enough. And we'll try those in just a minute. Stir our soup. Now, the thing about the tomato soup that I read, you know, if you like it chunky, leave it chunky. If you want to blitz it down, you can. And toward the end here, they suggest some heavy cream. Again, most of the time I use fat-free half and half, but sometimes you just make a dish and you want it to really feel like comfort. So I try to live by what we call the 80-20 rule. And the 80-20 rule is that you eat healthy 80% of the time, so that 20% of the time you just can go a little wild. So putting in a little bit of that, and then some of the Parmesan cheese. We're going to sprinkle that in there. Give it a little body and a little extra flavor. I don't salt things, so this is things like Parmesan bring the salt. My husband's a type 1 diabetic, so we don't use much salt. So, all right. This is cooking away here. Ooh, here's the big question. Am I going to be able to flip this thing without just destroying it? We're about to find out. Ready? Woo! Ha! Okay, over it went. All right. All right, and then we're going to pull this guy. This is the keto bread we made in 90 seconds. Yeah, cheddar and provolone, that would be gorgeous. Now, my husband likes spicy, so he would opt for pepper jack. I like to mix it up too, so I don't mind if it's something different. So, but I'm really kind of looking forward to this little guy. If he's any good, of course, he looks kind of smushed. You know what I mean? There's a little hole there in the middle. But again, I'm going to use some of that. Where did that go? The pizza cheese. I'm going to put the pizza cheese in there. And we'll fill up the hole with cheese. Why not, right? Now, I love cheddar cheese and I love provolone cheese, so those are all great options as well. This may not be the best option because it's shredded, but it's big shreds, so hopefully it melts nicely. And there might be provolone in this one. Yeah, provolone. It's mozzarella and provolone. So, but I am also going to, because American comfort food, when we make a grilled cheese, there's usually American cheese on it. So, I did have a lady recently. I used on a recipe that I made, and I only make it twice a year. I use something called Velveeta cheese. It's processed cheese. It's, for me, it's nostalgic. It's a dish that my mother used to make, and I make it once a year. And this person was just appalled that I had used that. So I'm going to put a little bit of butter in this pan to do this one as well. This is about my 4th week that I've done a live like this, and I get a little better each week at getting my timings right, getting my everything I need together. I'm a little discombobulated today because of my friends losing my friend, but you know, the thing is, we all got to live and we all got to die. And I think while I'm living, I just want to be nice to people. Not nice, I want to be kind. I have people that I love dearly, that I know have been through a lot. I think the more we know about each other, the better and kinder we'll be to one another. I believe that wholeheartedly, because the people I know that have traveled the most are generally the kindest people of all. So now it's time to plate up. And you know what? Sometimes, and again, because it's a comfort food, this is something we used to eat as children, kind of feel like a paper plate is in order. Now this thing is a monster, okay? It definitely could have been 2. It probably should have been 2. And, I don't think that one's cooked all the way in the middle. I'm going to have to flip it again. So yes, if you do this, use the parchment. That was a mistake on my part, not to use the parchment. So I may have to microwave that to get it to do its thing. But then there's this little guy. And we'll see how that goes when we flip it over. Not bad. And then I'm going to turn that off so it can keep cooking. I'm getting myself a little bowl for the soup. I'm just going to eat a little bit of it. I don't know about you. When I was growing up, when we had grilled cheese, we didn't always have tomato soup, but my husband did. So we ate a lot more of this tomato soup when my husband, when I made it for him. We made it often on Fridays during Lent. And, okay, I'm going to go ahead and, I think this should be done. I'm going to flip it over just to make sure. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm going to leave that sit for just a minute. I'm going to try our soup. And we used to use, if you're in the U.S., we always ate Campbell's tomato soup. Well, I can't eat that anymore because Campbell's tomato soup has wheat in it. Oh, hot. Mmm. Mmm. We absolutely need friends. Hello to Brooklyn. Um, oh, man. It was hot, but the flavor is really good. I would do this again. I'll probably blend it up later. I don't like to do it in that pan because it's a nonstick pan. Okay, this feels like it's finally firming up. So yay for that. But a lot of the cheese is oozed out of it. So lesson learned on that is that we do put it between the parchment. We make it as thin as we can. And then we ought to be able to eat it after that. So I'm going to try this keto bread as a grilled cheese. And I'll tell you what I think about it. But if I can make a keto bread in 90 seconds and make a grilled cheese out of it, I'm going to be delighted. Okay. That's not bad. Now, it's got butter and cheese. So sometimes I think you could put butter and cheese on cardboard and it would taste good if you have the right butter and the right cheese. I would do that again. And I would do that again just to try it and see if I can make, like, do other things with it. So, that's really good. Okay. That's as close to a grilled cheese as I've had in a very long time. So that's lovely. I'm going to move that over here. Now we're going to get this behemoth out of here. Again, I should have made this into two. This is just chicken. I'm going to leave that in the pan. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. And I'm going to bring over, I'm going to eat out of order. I'm going to have dessert. Okay, they're both still too hot to touch. So I'm going to grab my UV gloves. And I will just try them out of there. All right. This one has been sitting longer. So I'm going to, how am I going to do this? There's that other UV glove. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So I can put this in my hand. Now I can eat a little bit of it. And what I'll do when we've processed, when this live is done, I will add all the recipes into the description of the live. So if you come back to the channel and you look for it, you'll have access to all of the recipes that I used today. So, okay, that's not too hot. This is the one that we unveganized. I used butter in here instead of coconut oil. And it's more like a crumble top, if that makes sense. Yeah, To eat this, I would stir this down in, but I'm not going to eat the whole thing right now. So I may share this with my husband later. So I'm going to leave that top like that. So when we warm it up, then we can stir it in. It won't just be mush. So there's that one. Again, I should have put this over the edge because look, yeah, we'll cut it in half and we'll share it. This one, had I put it over the edge, that the puff would have stayed all the way around, but it kind of sunk. So, oh, but hear that crunch? Did you hear that crunch? That was lovely. So yeah, if I was crunching through it instead of already into the bowl, this would have been better. Live and learn, right? It's the first time I've done it with pre-made puff, so I usually make my own dough. But I can't do that anymore. So I mean, I can with gluten-free flour, but the other thing is, if I eat a peach cobbler, 9 times out of 10, I'm eating it with either whipped cream on it or some ice cream. So that makes it a better dessert, in my opinion. Hopefully, nope, it's still smoking. And I'm kind of a baby when it comes to things like that. So, yes, the ground chicken for sure. I would need to either, well, with it having one whole egg in it, I would either have to use like egg white, just egg white, or yeah, I would cut the amount in half, use the half of the amount. And I see that we're over time, and I'm going to hop off here quickly, but that's good. With the Sweet Lawrence pastries, that's good too. It's quicker. It doesn't have the flavor that the other one has. It's got a nice crunch to it. And then finally, let's get a bite of the behemoth here. And see some of the, you can see that the cheese is oozing out. It's still really, really hot. Even taking from the end there. So I'm going to kind of cut that in half. Ooh, it's kind of hot in here. Okay, it's not a grilled cheese, but it is wonderful. Oh, okay. All right, I didn't get that. All right. This is why I have my IT guy. He's so good. Let me grab a knife here. You guys want to see the cross section of the chicken one? I will cut that. And because of the way we made it, it's so, again, so juicy. But yeah, if I had done this correctly and done it thinner and smaller, there's the cheese inside. And so I think that would be the way to do it really thin. And then you could have that lovely cheese in there. Just make sure you seal it really well. So lesson learned, I would use the parchment the next time. And next week is Lima Bean Appreciation Day on Monday. And so I'll be making some lima beans, some kind of lima beans, and something else that we'll enjoy for a meal. But again, I'll be coming back every day this week, doing a live, doing a quick snack. It won't be this big of a thing. It'll just be one thing for snack time. And I'm going to be doing that about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So keep an eye, subscribe, and you'll get notifications for that. And other than that, I will see you all tomorrow.